Hi guys and gals, and welcome to Long Distance Love Tarot Reading Channel. I'm Lexa Tarot, and this channel is exclusively for timeless tarot readings for long distance relationships or connections and separations who are looking for insights to their unique long distance connection. Thank you so much for stopping by today. And today we have a new question that we will be taking a look at through the tarot. Question number 1 is already the cards that are selected in individual piles here, pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and those have insights to question number 1, which is, what are you and your partner doing well in this long distance connection? The second question we're going to do live on camera, and the second question is going to focus on what can you and your partner do better in this long distance relationship. So hopefully those two topics is of interest to you, and you can stick around and find out what each pile has for you. Before I dive in to pile number 1, let's review, or let's take a look at what's the easiest way to avoid the stress of being confused about which pile to take or to pick or select. The first thing I would say is just get little pieces of paper and individually write each number in the pile. Fold them, place them either in a little plastic canister or in a little bag. Put the top on, and I want you to take a couple of minutes just to think about your particular connection. Think about your partner, think about the times you spent together. And while you're thinking, ask for clarity. Ask the universe, your spiritual guides, your intuition, your angels. Ask for clarity so that you are able to pick the pile whose message resonates with your connection. Now again, this is a general reading, but there may be messages within each pile or a specific pile that resonates with your connection. Take what resonates and leave behind what doesn't. After you do that for a couple of minutes, just close your eyes, shake the canister or bag around. With your eyes closed, pull a number out, open it up, and that is the pile that you will be selecting. Again, take the messages that resonate and leave behind what doesn't. So now that I reviewed that with you, let's go straight into pile 1. You can pause the video right now, or you can just come with me and let's see what we have here for pile 1. Hi, pile 1. Thank you for joining me. You have chosen pile 1. We have our little rose quartz here. I have my little rose quartz, which I love to have around the table. If you've seen the other videos, you'll see that I usually have this somewhere around the table. Rose quartz focuses on love, unconditional love. Okay, so let's take a look at the question, the first question. is what are you and your partner doing well in this long distance connection? The second question, I'll pull the cards out live so you guys can get those messages. So let's start with pile number 1. First card that I have here. Okay, first card that I have here is you deserve love. You are lovable. And again, this is the mutual connection of what you guys are doing well in your long distance connection. The next one is worth waiting for. You have by the book. You have orphaned. Spiritual strength. Rejoice in celebration. The King of Pentacles. Let me push this down a little bit more. There we go. And the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. So the first thing that you guys are doing well in this long distance connection is realizing that you are lovable, that both of you deserve love in this connection. Therefore, I can say, okay, that chances are you guys are showing each other qualities that you are in love with each other. Okay, there's probably a mutual exchange of that type of feeling. Okay, that's what I'm getting there. Let's take a look at the next one. You have worth waiting for. So in this connection, I'm picking up that as a couple, divine timing is at work in your love connection. And you guys are doing well with understanding that this may take time. And that the time that you want things to happen is not going to be perhaps when you want it to happen, but rather when the universe, when, you know, the universe, the spirit guides, God, angels, whatever your belief system is, that's who has control of when things will happen in this love life or in this long distance relationship. I always pair this up, or in my mind it just comes up as Wheel of Fortune always comes to me, or I interpret it as the divine timing card as well. So it's good to see that there is, you know, a connection here that I'm also, that's kind of confirming that second card. Let's take a look by the book. Let's see what I get here. Okay, so by the book, I'm getting that you guys work well together. You get along well. And as you can see here, there's like a family of elephants, right? You get, well, that's the feeling that I'm getting, that it's like a family of elephants, right? So I can say that I'm sensing that you both do well or are doing well in accepting each other's family, perhaps honoring your individuality. There may be cultural differences here, or there may be differences of upbringing, okay? And somehow what you guys are doing here, that's a positive thing, is you're respecting each other's culture. You're respecting each other's family customs and the way you were raised. And perhaps the way you were raised is different, or there are different perspectives of seeing things in your relationship. But this card talks about that you're honoring your individuality within your relationship. These two cards came together, and we have orphaned and by the buck. There may be a connection here where maybe one of you may have been adopted. Okay, the family ties are adopted. Okay, and that perhaps, you know, the family, I'm so sorry about this. It's a little noisy here in the city. But just, I hope you guys don't hear that. There's a motorcycle in the background. But anyway, perhaps that there's the feeling that I get here that maybe one of you may be an orphan, and so, or was adopted, and your family is really embracing the partnership that you have with your significant other. Okay, I'm also getting that there's a deep sense of loss when you guys aren't together. And just like this card is about supporting and respecting different perspectives, I feel that here both of you as a couple are able to support each other through different stages of personal growth. So perhaps maybe there's things in the past, or family issues, or prior experiences that either one or both of you may have had, and as a couple you guys are supporting each other through that process of, or that layer, you know, that is there present in your past, right? And so that's the connection that I get with these two cards, that they're not so much individual, but rather kind of working together to show the positive of this relationship. Okay. Sorry, let me fix this. All right. I'm also getting, because you also have here spiritual strength and rejoice in celebration. So with spiritual strength, I'm getting that as a couple, what you're doing well is that you're relying on your spiritual strength. Whether you're religious or not is not the question here. It's more about the fact that you are holding on to your faith in something, right? It could be that perhaps you meditate. It could be perhaps through prayer, through trying to manifest more positive vibrations in your relationship. But there is definitely spiritual strength here, that both of you are doing well in this relationship, in this long distance relationship. So hanging on to that faith, hanging on to that spiritual strength when perhaps those moments of separation get a little bit too much to bear. The next thing I get here, or the next card that we have here, is Rejoice and Celebration. And so for me, I'm picking up that even though you and your partner are in a long distance connection, and perhaps there are moments, obviously you're not together celebrating, okay? But you take the time to take pictures and send it to each other during those moments of having a fun moment, or little life's celebration moments, you know. So I get that you guys perhaps text each other, show each other, exchange pictures, and try to connect with each other through pictures so that the other person isn't missing out on that specific moment of celebration, of joyfulness, of perhaps a get-together, or something that has to do with celebration. So you guys as a couple are able to do that for each other to keep your connection connected. The next card I get is the King of Pentacles. And so here, I'm not going to take a look at the fact that it says King, okay? Because this is, I feel that it's the energy of the card that I focus on more so than the gender of the card. And I've said this in my prior readings. But I do get a sense that what you guys are also doing well in this relationship is the fact that you have a go-getter attitude. We're gonna work at this. Okay, we're gonna work at this. We're going to try to overcome these obstacles. All right. You guys are risk takers. It's not easy to have a long distance relationship. So this is more of kind of like feeling like that bold, we're gonna make this work type of energy. Okay. So you guys have that together as a couple, and that's what you're doing to maintain your long distance relationship in a positive way. We also have here the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune, along with the King of Pentacles, I think talks about staying optimistic. You guys stay optimistic no matter what, or no matter how long you don't see each other. That there's this sense of self-awareness, even though we don't spend time together, even though we don't spend too much time together as a couple because we are in long distance, that there is definitely this sense of trusting in the divine timing, trusting that all will go well. Because the King of Pentacles talks about a mature type of love. Okay? It's about abundance. It's like the overall richness of life. Okay? So there's a sense of stability here that you guys as a couple have. And perhaps that stability, is helped a lot by that spiritual strength that you guys have together. by the fact that you make the effort to send each other pictures, or make the other person feel part of those moments that you're celebrating without them, due to the distance involved. Okay, that during those moments of feeling a sense of loss, that there is support there that you guys mutually give to each other. Because both of you are in this relationship knowing that this is the person that I want to give my love and affection to, my devotion to, and this relationship is worth waiting for. Okay? And again, there's a sense of stability here, a sense of we're good, okay, and a lot of positive abundance, whether in the financial or career sense, or whether it's the feeling of solid stability between both of you, between the both of you. That's definitely coming through in these cards. So that right there is the things that you guys are doing well as a couple in long distance. Now we're going to take a look at what you can do better. Okay, so what are some things as a couple that you guys can do better? So I'm gonna shuffle these. Archangel, spiritual guides, spiritual mentors, spiritual teachers. What does pile 1 need to know? What can they do better as a couple in distance? What can my couples in long distance in pile 1 do better? So the card that I have here is Passion. And the hidden message is, or the shadow card is, give your relationship a chance. Okay. Let's take a look at what else comes out for you guys. What can you and your partner do better in this long distance connection? What advice do we have for pile 1? What can they do better in this long distance relationship? And the one is this one, Higher Power. Okay. So the 2 cards that came out is All That Glitters, followed up by a Higher Power. And we'll talk a little bit about that in a few minutes. Let's get the rest of these cards out first. Okay, what can my long distance couples in pile 1, what can they do better in this long distance connection? What can they do better in this long distance connection? What advice do you have for pile 1? What can they do better as a couple? Okay, we have partnership. In the bottom of the deck, material and spiritual prosperity. And let's clarify, keep clarifying this pile. Okay, what can the long distance couples in pile 1 do better in this long distance connection? What can they do better in this long distance connection? We have the King of Swords. Bottom of the deck, we have the Five of Wands. Okay, so let's take a look at what we have here. We have passion and give your relationship a chance. And so with passion here, it says allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. And as soon as this card came out, this picture, or I should say this picture popped in my head, but it was about this card. And so here, what I can pick up from this is that there is a sense of perhaps sadness at times due to the separation, due to the fact that you guys can't see each other as much as you'd like. Okay? And so despite of that, you guys need to allow your heart and your soul to still be happy, to still try to live these joyous moments, even if it's not together as a couple, but try to live in that high vibration of energy. It's difficult, I know. Being in a long distance relationship has its own set of challenges, but don't fight or don't stress yourself out as a couple when those hard moments come. Okay? It's easy to have misunderstandings, and they happen more often when you guys aren't together. So feelings can be easily bruised, you know, when you are in long distance, because sometimes you might feel, oh, he or she isn't thinking about me. I didn't get enough texts today. They're not being straightforward with communication. I'm not hearing from him or her enough. Or there might be misunderstandings in texts or in things said or things not said. And I focus on the not said because the King of Swords is an energy of not being very communicative, not sharing deep feelings verbally. Okay. So the King of Swords is the energy of keeping a bit stoic. Okay. Keeping on the outside, you know, it's a quiet, kind of detached from emotions kind of personality. Okay. And perhaps this type of energy is what's causing this. Because as you saw, the King of Swords came out first. So perhaps this energy is causing conflict. And that's something you guys can try to work on and do better, is communicate with each other better. Open up your heart, as I said here. Open up your heart, okay? So that your partner understands that, you know, I do care. I am in this, okay? So during these moments of conflict, I know it's sometimes difficult, right? But the advice that you guys need, or that you need to do better, is give your relationship a chance. So work on your partnership despite the difficulties. Okay, despite the misunderstandings, work on your partnership. And here is the message: all that glitters. And so I know we've heard this saying, right? All that glitters isn't gold, right? But this card is really talking about, so you see two masks, not one, we see two, right? And we also see a face coming from the clouds. And so this card tells me that perhaps feelings aren't being said, okay? Emotions aren't being disclosed, all right? There's something hidden, okay? Again, I'm thinking back on the King of Swords. So here I can say that what you guys need to work on is, or what you can do better, is opening up, speaking from your heart, communicating from your heart, not being so afraid and guarded, okay, with your emotions, because it's translating as if I'm not really in it as much as my partner is in it. So this is, again, this is what you guys can work together on, okay? Higher power. Interesting. We have higher power here on your what you need to do better, and you also have spiritual strength in your what you're doing well. So what this tells me is that you need to rely on your spiritual strength, but you also have to allow divine timing to take its course. Okay? You need to take time for things to sort out. And it makes sense because it connects with what came out in the first pile, which is what you guys are doing well. This is worth the wait. Okay, so this connection is worth the wait. But you also have to have faith that it's not always going to be at your timing, or in the timing that you feel it should be, right? Especially right now where it's a little bit kind of difficult to travel, or it may not be as easy to see each other during these times. So there is a sense here that what you can do better is you can, as a couple, okay? And when I mean you, I mean plural you, right? You as a couple. What you guys need to do better is have more faith in the higher power. Whatever or whomever the higher power is for you in your own life and in the life within your relationship, okay? What can you do better? Well, it's saying here that you guys could work better together as partners, okay? You guys can work better as partners, okay? And we have here, you guys can progress and lead to success and victory in the material and spiritual prosperity. So this means that you guys can do better in working a little harder with the material, which is like work, finances, that might be a little bit rough. Or maybe you guys are working a little bit too much, and so it's creating a conflict with being able to talk a lot to each other, and being able to communicate, as we saw with the King of Swords. So that might be also an issue, right? Or something you guys can do better. Spiritual prosperity, again, it talks about spiritual strength. Okay, and because it's coming out here in the side of what you guys can do better as a couple, I will say that you need to work together in this. There has to be a partnership, a sense of partnership. It can't be just one person, okay, believing in this relationship and praying for the relationship, or wanting or meditating for this relationship to happen, right? Or to get better, right? We need both parties involved. Okay. And there needs to be a stronger faith in divine timing and in the higher power, so that things can flow a little bit easier. Okay, so again, to recap, we have the King of Swords. Okay, this might be the reason there's kind of lack of communication. Okay, might be causing arguments, misunderstandings. Okay, this quietness that's happening here could be an issue with opening your heart, because it says here, allow your heart to be open in your soul. So if this isn't happening, then it's completely understandable why this would be an issue, right? And again, this is what you need to do better. Give your relationship a chance, okay? Open up, whether it's you or your partner. Sit down, talk about your feelings, talk about what's not being said, because what's not being said is creating some type of conflict or miscommunication or disagreements or arguments. Have faith in the higher power, okay? Have faith in divine timing, so that both of you can work together as partners, not only in your long distance relationship when it comes to emotions and communication, but also when it comes to material and spiritual prosperity. So again, these are the things that you can do within your partnership to make your long distance connection a little better or a little smoother. So thank you, pile 2. I hope that some of these messages resonated with you. Again, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Thank you so much. Again, if you like this video, like, share, and subscribe. Turn on that notification button so that you know when I post, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Thank you. Bye-bye. Hi, pile number 2. Thank you so much for joining. You have selected pile number 2. And let's take a look at what we have here with the pre-selected cards. Haven't taken a look at them yet. We'll figure that out in a few minutes. But remember, this is a two-part. This is part 1, which is what are you and your partner doing well in this long-distance connection? And then part 2 is going to be the actual live pulling out of the cards for the second question, which is what can you and your partner do better in this long distance connection? So let's dive in and see what pile number 2 has gotten. Okay, so pile number 2, what you guys are doing well in this long distance connection is romantic feelings. Oh, nice. Followed up by engagement. We also have make the effort. Okay, we have deep knowing. We have loyal heart. Here and now. Okay, let me move these over. Okay. We have sacrifice. Discontent and boredom. Oh, the Two of Cups. Nice. Oh, and the Knight of Cups. All right, that's interesting. Okay, so let's take a look here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let's bring this down a little further. There we go. Okay, so what are you and your partner doing well in this connection? The first thing I see here is that there seems to be a lot of romantic feelings. So you and your partner are feeling that your feelings are real, okay? They're genuine and they're worth exploring, okay? So that was our first card that came out. By the way, I always pull out 2. But while I was shuffling this pile 2, 3 came out. So this was a pile that really wanted to express its feelings here, and I can see totally why now because everything is very lovey-dovey here. So our second card is engagement, and so what that means is that mutually as a couple, what you're doing well is you're elevating or you're ascending your commitment to a higher level. Okay, so what that means is just probably chances are either this may be the pile that's engaged, right? But this could also mean that between the both of you there is a solid sense of this is my girlfriend, or this is my boyfriend, or, you know, this is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. There is a deep commitment here. That's what that tells me. For the next one, we have make the effort. So here it tells me that this pile is really putting in the work. Okay. It says great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. So whether you're listening to your intuition as a couple, whether you are both making the effort, and I see two, well, there's two here obviously, because these are the love, the angel love tarot, right? But I also see two owls here and two people here, right, in the Two of Cups. So there's a lot. What I see, there is a partnership here. There's a deep sense of a grounded, let's both of us put in the work that we need to put in order to get the best relationship, okay, out of, you know, the time that we're together or cultivating, right? So again, romantic feelings. There is a mutual sense of higher level of commitment here. So you guys are doing that great. And you are both putting in work in the relationship. So that's good. The next thing we have here, hold on one second. I'm sorry, let me put this up a little. The next thing that we have here is deep knowing. And so this tells me, and I get the feeling that there is a heartfelt, soulful connection here. You just know. You know, you can't describe it. If you were to sit someone down or talk to your friends or your family and discuss or talk about this long distance relationship, it's like you can't put it into words because it's a feeling. You just have this deep, heartfelt, soulful connection, and both of you feel this way. Okay, because I could see it in the energy in those cards. So there's a deep knowing. Okay, you also have the loyal heart. And so this talks about devotion. This talks about being honest, being faithful. Two souls kind of intertwining, a deep love, okay, and commitment. So there's definitely that strong romantic feeling here. Okay, of two people that are really putting in their all here. Okay. Another positive point that you guys are doing well as a couple in this long distance connection is focusing on the present. Okay, not focusing of the past or in the past, and not thinking too far ahead in the future. You're trying to stay in the now. So whether you do that through meditation, whether you do that through quieting your mind, through prayer, but there is something here that tells me that that the feeling here is of being present. Okay, it's the here and the now. You're taking it day by day, one day at a time. Okay, which that's a great way to go about it. Okay, so the next card is sacrifice. Just give me a minute here. Well, for this card, I'm getting, my eyes just went straight to, I don't know if you guys could see it here, but She has like some type of scarf, and from the scarf you can see that things like feathers are kind of like coming out and falling, right? Hold on, let me take a look at this one too, kind of read it within the context of the hidden shadow and the main card. Okay, so here I'm getting that what you guys are also doing well is that when you are in this feeling of discontent, you're able to release that. Okay, you're able to release those negative feelings and pretty much think more about, or focus, I should say, more on the devotion that you have for each other and the strong bond, the strong love bond that you have as a couple. Okay, so that's what I'm getting here. I'm also, give me 1 second here. I'm also feeling that, let's take these two next. We have the Two of Cups and the King of, the Knight of Cups and the King of Cups. So this talks about messages, love messages, right? And this obviously talks about a deep connection, a soulful connection, a loving connection between two people, a relationship, obviously. So looking at them together and putting this into the context is, chances are this pile 2, you and your partner send each other texts, okay? You stay connected through either texts, emails, but there is definitely a lot of exchange, and it's kind of like those lovey-dovey type of messages that I'm getting, because obviously it's the Knight of Cups, and cups have to do with emotions. And as you can see here, the emotions here for you guys is very intense, okay? It's I would even say soulmate connection, twin flame connection. Although I don't like to use the word or the term twin flame too often, unless, you know, because I don't like to romanticize the term of twin flame. Actually, twin flame connections tend to be a lot of work. It is a lot of work, emotional, and you know, maybe one day we'll chat about that in a different video. But there is definitely a deep sense of knowing here, right? You just know there's this connection here. This is intense. This is real. This is probably the pile who is thinking about getting married, wanting to live the rest of each other's lives together. This is the one for me. So you guys are doing a lot of things right here, which is why pretty much everything, yeah, pretty much every card here is positive. And just the Four of Cups is the one that seems to be, you know, one that's not a happy-go-lucky card. But we, you know, it's softened by the reality of the fact that it's pretty much talking about releasing. So this, you guys as a couple, you guys are able to release this discontent. You're able to release these negative feelings because you have such a strong, intuitive, deep connection. It's really heartfelt here. So that's what I have for you as far as what you guys are doing well within this connection. Now let's take a look at what you need to work on in this connection, or what are some things that you can do better in this connection. Okay, so I'm going to pull some cards out here for you for my pile 2. Okay, Archangel, Guardian Angel, Spiritual Mentor, Spiritual Teachers, I ask you in with God's divine light to please show us what pile 2, what can the couples in pile 2 do better in this long distance relationship? What can pile 2 do better in this long distance relationship? What can they do better as a couple? What can they do better as a couple? Okay, attraction. The back of the card is pay attention to red flags. Okay. All right. Let's keep going. Okay. Pile 2. What can pile 2, my couples in pile 2, do better in this long distance relationship? What can pile 2 do better in this long distance relationship? Okay. What can they do better? Let's find out. We have be fair. And in the back, or in the back of the pile, we have unfinished symphony. Okay. And my apologies if you guys can hear a lot of talking in the background. That is what it entails to live in the city, right? All right, so let's take a look at the next set of cards. Sorry, I had to talk a little louder there. I was trying to block today is a busy night here. All right, let's focus. What can couples in pile 2 do better in this long distance relationship? What can they do better? Oh, I forgot. I put these back here. What can they do better? Light. Okay. And the back of the deck, we have deception and envy. Okay, so let's take a look. Oh, wait, I missed a batch. Okay. Okay, what can couples in long distance in pile 2, what can they do better as a couple? What can they do better as a long distance couple? That just flipped right over. It's amazing because this pile, we have the 7 of Pentacles, and in the back we have the 10 of Swords. It's funny, like I was saying, that this pile 2 has just the cards just popped out. Like I say, I usually have 2 cards, but this pile wants 3 cards in its reading. So I find that interesting. All right, so let's take a look at what you can do better. And when I mean you, I mean the plural you as a couple in this long distance connection. So it says here attraction, and the other one says pay attention to red flags. So what I'm going to take this as, and the messages that are coming through for this is that despite the fact that there is a strong sense of attraction here, despite the fact that there is a lot of love, a lot of loyalty, okay, a lot of intuitive connection between you and your partner. Perhaps, like I said before, a lot of text messages, lovey-dovey text messages, okay? Besides the fact that there is romantic feelings and the feeling of leveling, going up in commitment here. Pay attention as a couple to the red flags, okay? All right? Don't let the attraction blind the fact that there may be red flags here that you guys need to discuss as a couple, that you need to talk about, clear up, okay? Because here we get swords, we get the Eight of Swords and the Ten of Swords. And so the Nine of Swords talks about anxiety. It's about mental activity, a lot of things that are on the person's mind. Okay, so there may be moments where being apart is overwhelming. Okay, that there's a feeling of severe loss when you guys aren't together. Okay, and maybe it sometimes causes feelings of, what is my partner doing? What is he doing? What is she doing? Is she being honest with me? She's being faithful to me? You know, what's going on? Okay? Insecurities. Insecurities that are happening in the mind. Okay? Because this is a swords card. So we have one sword card, another sword card, and another sword card. Swords talks about the mind, the thoughts. Okay? So here, as a couple, what you can do better is not get yourselves trapped in self-sabotaging ideas, self-sabotaging thoughts, because that could get in the way of the relationship. So we have here to be fair. And this always reads to me as a card of justice. Sometimes it also reads to me, depending the context. It reminds me of the Temperance card also. So we have, let me focus a little bit on this. So here what I'm getting is that what you can do better as a couple in this long distance connection is be fair with one another. Okay? Be fair in how you treat each other, how you communicate with each other. Because here, you guys, Seven of Pentacles talks about investing. Okay. So here, what I'm getting is that if you continue, or if there is this situation where you are self-sabotaging, okay, and when I mean you, it could be you individually or you as a couple, you get too wrapped up in your thoughts, it might become an obstacle for you in wanting to continue to invest in the relationship. Okay. And those negative emotions, which are thoughts really, because again, this is all swords, these thoughts can block the light, the positivity. Because this is the pile that, again, in the first part, we saw a deep knowing, okay, Two of Cups, we have loyal heart, we have here and now, which is the present. You guys live in the present time, romantic feelings, you guys are making the effort, there's a higher level of commitment. So all this, you guys are doing very well in the, putting all this into play in your relationship. So when I see this, it tells me one thing. This is happening in your minds. There may be moments where as much positive love, caring, devotion, and effort that's actually going on in the relationship, you guys might overshadow it with your own thoughts, your own perception based out of fear. Okay? Granted, there may be red flags, okay, in the relationship, okay? Every relationship is going to have a flaw. Every person is going to have a flaw. But talk about it rather than get trapped in your mind about what it could be or what you think it is or your assumptions. Because here is a person wrapped up into their own thinking, into their own situation. Okay. So we have actually the numbers 7, 8, and 10. Okay. So all about swords. Now let's go to this unfinished symphony. An unfinished symphony is about something that's not clearly finished, something that's not completed. Okay? So whether it's you guys as a couple here, hold on one second, let me take a look here. Okay, so what I'm getting here is don't leave things unsaid. Don't leave emotions unspoken. Okay? Whatever you guys need to talk about, you need to have a conversation about. Okay? Sometimes it's easy to keep things in, all right? And not fully disclose how we feel or what we think about a situation because we don't want to come across as whatever, fill in the blank. Everybody has their own script and their own storyline that they tell themselves, right? to, in a way, self-sabotage a good relationship, right? So what this is talking about is don't leave things unsaid, don't leave things unspoken. So as a couple, what you can do better is you can communicate better. You can try not to place yourself in your minds so much. Okay. Because then it's really challenging to kind of see the positivity. And everything in the first row of what you guys are doing right was positive, except this discontent and boredom. Right? So here we were talking about, you know, releasing this discontent. So that was a positive. Releasing the feeling of discontent. So this part with the emotions, you guys have down packed as a couple. It's what's going on in the mind that seems to be what you have to work better as, or better as a couple. Okay. So let's see what else. This card talks about investment, investing in a relationship. Talks about stability, commitment, growth. And it's interesting because with such a positive, what you guys are doing together as a long distance couple, that came out really strong. That this would be in the what to do better is a clear signal that these mental thoughts can prevent growth in this relationship. Okay? And that's how I'm picking up that energy as. There is attraction here. Pay attention to the red flags, but also don't get caught up in assuming and in creating storylines and scripts that may not be there. Okay? Or another term that I just got, like literally right now, is making a mountain out of a molehill. So it might be a small red flag, right? Or it might be something that needs to be spoken about, whether it's in a person's personality, whether it's not something that's not happening, or whatever the situation is, whatever the red flag is in your relationship, and you're taking that one little small moment of red flag and you're turning it into a whole storyline in your head. Okay, so this here says, if you guys as a couple continue to do this, then it's going to be very difficult to continue to grow, and it's going to be difficult to be hopeful. Okay? And as long as you guys clearly talk and discuss and don't leave things unfinished. So don't leave things unfinished. Don't leave conversations unfinished. Don't start doing the silent treatment, because that right there is going to create some type of issue, or it's going to add to the issues that, you know, may be there. Okay? So I hope that you resonated with the messages in this pile. As I always say, take the things that resonate and leave behind the things that don't. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share, and subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to touch that notification bell so that you're aware when I post videos. I always post every Wednesday. Okay, thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope to see you again next week on this channel. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Hi, pile 3. Thank you so much. You guys picked pile 3. Thank you so much for stopping by today. Let's take a look at what your cards are for this pile 3. Just giving you a quick review or quick overview of what we're going to be doing here. These cards are, what are you and your partner doing well in this long distance connection? The second pile I will do live. Okay, so I will do the shuffle right on the screen so you guys can take a look at what you and your partner can do better in this long distance connection. So part 1 is what are you and your partner doing well in this connection, and part 2, shuffle and draw the cards that are going to talk about what you and your partner can do better in this long distance connection. So let's jump into what came out for you guys. So pile 3, we have the long distance connection, a long distance, the past life relationship, sorry. Yeah, it is a long distance connection, but it's also a past life relationship here. And let's take a look here. We have keep an open mind. We have chaos and conflict. We have observer. Stand your ground. Memories of love. We have the Sun card. And the last one is the Nine of Wands. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see. Alright, so pile 3, what you and your partner are doing well, okay, in this long distance connection. What you're doing well is that you are connecting with, or you realize that you have this feeling of knowing each other from a past life, or that when you met in this lifetime, you guys recognized this sense of knowing each other, of the connection seemed or felt like you've known each other for a very long time. Okay, so this intuitive sense of I've known this person before, or I feel like I know them, but I really don't know them. So why am I feeling this way? Okay, so there may be that connection between you guys. So that is what you're doing that well, in that you sense that, right? Despite of that, you keep an open mind. So here it talks about that perhaps you and your partner may differ from the usual type that you usually go for, or that perhaps there is a different expectation. Like maybe you met this person and they met you, and you guys perhaps may not have thought you would have worked out or you would have paired up, but you did. So here it's talking about that your strength, okay, as a couple, or what you guys are doing well, is being open to each other being a little bit different than what you're used to, okay, than what you're used to dating. The next set of cards is about chaos and conflict. And so for this, I'm getting the sense that through the chaos and conflict that you might be experiencing in this relationship, whatever that is, whether it's external chaos and conflict or whether it's internal chaos and conflict, that you're learning from each other, okay? So it might not feel pretty good right now when you're going through these emotions, or you as a couple. I mean, when I say you, I mean the plural you, okay? When both of you are in this feeling of chaos and conflict, it might not feel the best, right? Because it's uncomfortable when things are changing, when things are transforming, when a relationship is evolving. Sometimes it's not that easy, right? And through the chaos and the conflict, you're able to learn more about each other, okay? You're able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. As we see here, I think it's a fox looking at the bright star, and that's the observer. So even though you might think that the chaos, whether it's external or internal, the chaos and the conflict are not a good thing, they are good because you're able to work together. You're able to, as a couple, see the light at the end of the tunnel. And it may give you a different perspective, okay? Sometimes when we're going through a conflict or a time in our lives, whether it's individually or whether it's within a couple, you're used to seeing things one specific way, right? Because it's just you. That's how you see, how you view the world. But now we have another person in the mix, right? Now we have a couple, two people. And so you might have a certain way to look at things, and they might have a certain way to look at things. So this conflict and this chaos could just shed light on how you work together as a couple. And so that is a positive here. Okay. The next thing that's positive here, or that you guys are doing well, is that you're able to stand your ground. This is the 7 of Wands in other decks in Rider-Waite. In this card, it talks about standing your ground. And so here, it talks about feeling like you're standing your ground on what's happening here. Okay? Like we could work on this together. Like that type of, how can I say this, like perseverance, like this is what we need to do, and we stand firmly in making this work. Okay, so you have that energy here in the positive light, so that's good. You also have memories of love. So this is the Six of Cups in Rider-Waite. It's memories of love here in this deck. And this talks about thinking of the past, reminiscing. So perhaps what I can pick up here is that through this chaos and conflict, okay, that you're being able, you guys work together, right? You're working together through this, or you're supporting each other through this, okay? Through those tough moments, you think back on the times you've shared together as a couple. And perhaps that's what gives you, or this couple, the sense of positivity. It's like the ray of sunshine, right? The light at the end of the tunnel. Again, oh my gosh, yeah. The light at the end of the tunnel, that's exactly the same message I picked up from this one. Okay. So it's kind of like the bright side, right? This is the issue. And you guys are able to look at the bright side of it. The bright side of the obstacles and the challenges that come your way. So you're able to really work together as a couple. And here we have, I just noticed I missed a card here. We have the Seven of Wands, which by the way is the same card here. So you have 7, 7. Okay. 7, 7. Yeah. So you have 7, 7 here. So this card is the same as this card. It's just a different deck. What does that say? Well, you're guarding this relationship. You protect this relationship. Okay. You stand your ground, but you're also willing to protect each other. Even though it looks kind of like a scary card though. But the person is in a protective mode. So you guys cherish what you have, and you're not afraid to protect the hard work that you guys are creating. You're not afraid to guard your relationship, you know, and protect something that's special to you. Okay, so definitely this is the one that came out first, I think. So we have the ray of sunshine, we have positivity, you know. It's also the efforts that you're putting together as a couple is a good one, despite the issues that might come up. Okay, so that's what I'm getting here as your positive, or what you guys are doing well as a couple. Okay, let's take a look at what you guys can do better in this long distance connection. Okay, so guardian angels, spiritual guides, spiritual mentors, spiritual teachers, archangels, I call upon you with God's divine light. And this card just flips, so we'll put it there. God's divine light to please shed light on what can the couples in pile 3 do better in this long distance relationship? What can they do better in this long distance relationship? We have reconciliation. And religious factors. Let's take a look at the next pile. Okay, what can the couples in pile 3, what can they do better in this long distance connection? What can the couples in separation in pile 3 do better in their connection as long distance, as a long distance couple? We have yin, and in the back we have regeneration. Okay, what can the couples in separation in pile 3 do better in this long distance connection? What can they do better in this long distance connection? Whoops. What can they do better? Prosperity begins. And behind, we have positive movement forward. Okay. By the way, behind that was harmony, which is the Lover's card in this deck. Okay. What can long distance couples in pile 3, what can they do better in this long distance connection? Judgment, and in the back, Star. Alright, so let's take a look at this. Alright, so again, the question that we have in mind here is, what can you and your partner do better in this long distance connection? And so separation and reconciliation, well, separation is the one that popped out while I was shuffling the cards. So it seems that what you guys can do better is try to accept the long distance connection a little bit better. There may have been, or there is probably, I want to say, because of this chaos and conflict, that there is a mutual perspective, right? You guys are trying to see the light at the end of the tunnel, as we saw here with the Sun card. But this may be causing disagreements. It may be causing arguments. Okay. It might be the reason why there needs to be some type of reconciliation. Maybe the chaos and the conflict have to do with cultural factors, differences in how we see things, how we view life, how you maybe how you were raised and how you were raised to see certain things, maybe the different experiences that you had, both growing up and perhaps the different experiences you had in other relationships. So here what it's talking about is, regardless of the separation that you guys may be having, there needs to be a better handle or a better way to handle reconciling these different perspectives, reconciling whatever you guys don't see, together on the same, you don't have the same vision on, right? So that's what I'm getting. I'm sorry that I'm like doing long pauses, but I'm connecting with the cards as I'm talking. So there is this feeling of trying to reconcile these conflicts or these differences or these different ways of seeing or viewing aspects in the relationship. So that's something you guys can do better. Before I talk about the yin, I want to say that the yin card is about giving energy. Wait, hold on one second. I'm going to go into the book for a quick second just to give this a quick view. I want to say it's that, but yeah, it is. It's about receptivity. Okay, good. I was like, all right, so here it talks about the yin talks about being receptive and letting someone else give to the relationship. It's more of the divine feminine. And don't get caught up on the term divine feminine. It doesn't necessarily, relate to a woman, okay? There are people that, we're talking about the energy. I'm actually a natural healing. I'm a Reiki practitioner. And one of my careers is I'm a Reiki practitioner. So, everyone has different energy. There's the divine masculine energy and the divine feminine energy. And it could go either or with gender, so that doesn't really matter. But what matters here is that this is talking about, there seems to be, that you guys could do better is there seems to be maybe one person who is the giver, okay, who may give more, meaning perhaps more emotion, more energy, more, maybe this is the person that says I'm sorry first, probably calls more often, reaches out more often. So it's saying that there may be an imbalance to the yin and yang here, okay? The yin being the divine feminine energy. And so with this card, with the yin, it talks about let others take the lead right now, okay? It might be that one of you is taking too much of the lead in the relationship, and perhaps that's the reason why it's come out in the what to do better, okay? Regeneration talks about transformation, all right? It's the feeling of what you guys can do better. Well, if you're having issues and there's chaos and conflict, Okay? You can't let an argument last 3 months of not talking to each other. Okay? So it's pretty much focusing on try to speed up that reconciliation. Okay? Try to ensure that when arguments brew, when situations arise, when you are not seeing each other's perspective, okay, try to understand the transformation that's happening. Don't let that person be the only person always reaching out, always saying sorry, always trying to make things better. It can't be one person, it has to be two. Okay? This right here is what both of you can do better in the relationship. And what this is telling me is that there is an imbalance to the yin and yang. There's one person that's giving more, and it should be an equal give and take. Regeneration. Try to make things new. Hash things out. Don't let things brew, okay, for too long. Because you're getting reconciliation not once. This is regeneration, but it is also to me it feels a little bit connected to that reconciliation. But you're also getting reconciliation with the Judgment card. And the Judgment card focuses on reconciliation. I'm getting also not to judge each other harshly through this. When there are arguments, when there is this disagreements, when you guys don't see eye to eye, it's better not to create judgments about each other. Okay? Go back to the things that you do well, which is trying to get a clear perspective. Try to be an observer. Okay? When those moments happen, when those disagreements occur, take a step back and view the other person's perspective in a neutral zone. Don't attach any judgments to it. Don't attach any negative feelings or thoughts to it. Just listen to it objectively. I know it's easier said than done. I've been there. I know it is. Okay. But it's pretty much telling you as a couple, plural you, that in those moments when those disagreements come up, reconcile quickly, talk about it. Reconciliation doesn't just mean accepting the sorry and saying I'm sorry. It means talking about what the damage was, what damage did this specific argument cause in the relationship. And I'm sorry, as in I'll never do it again, as opposed to just resorting to the systematic repeat of just saying I'm sorry every 2 weeks for the same thing that's done, right? So kind of correcting the pattern of behavior. Okay? But this can't be just one person working on it. It has to be both. Okay? Another thing here is that you and your partner can do to make this long distance connection stronger is to focus on the prosperity. Okay. The prosperity could mean, I mean, granted, this card, it's talking about finances, because that's, this is the Wands card in this deck. But I would say find the prosperity, the happiness within this chaos. You see two hands here. Okay, we see a tree. So in order to nurture this side of your relationship that needs work, you need two people, which is interesting because it goes back, or it connects again to this card here, which is yin. It can't be just one person. You guys have to work together in order to see a positive movement forward. And that's your Eight of Pentacles. Your Eight of Pentacles in Rider deck. In this deck, it's positive movement forward. And so the 8, positive movement forward, is focusing on work, developing strong work ethics. Okay? Sailing together in the same direction. In order to do that, guys got to work together. Okay, can't be just one person. Got to work together for that prosperity. This is the goal. Then these tools here that you guys are doing are good. But this is what you also need to add to it so it could be better. So that at the end of the day, there's a positive outcome. Okay. Here, when I see the star card, I also think about wishing upon the star. Okay. I think about strengthening. There's this connection here between the water, which is emotion, and the carrying two. This person or this woman is carrying two water jugs. And even though one water jug is here and the other one is far, they still connect because you see the water connecting here. So looking at the reading and the energy that I'm reading here with the what you can do better, I feel it resonates again with this whole pattern of working together. Okay, understanding, merging. Okay, merging. Might be, far apart, but you have to merge the perspectives. Have to understand each other. You've been wishing upon a star, hoping for each other, trying to manifest positivity in the relationship. But in order to do that, you guys need to work together. And working together will help you push and move the relationship forward. So I hope that this message resonated with your connection. And again, only take the messages that resonate and leave behind the ones that don't. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope that you either like, share, or subscribe to this channel. Just know every week I have a new topic about long distance relationship that we want to take a look at. All right, so thank you so much for stopping by. I hope that you enjoyed this video. And again, like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you click on that notification bell so that you're aware when I post. I post every Wednesday, and I'll see you back next Wednesday. Thank you so much for stopping by. Bye-bye.